Ahava and blessings. Welcome to this episode of Hold the Shahina. This podcast is here to support us and offer us guidance and inspiration on this ascension journey as we embark upon the activation, embodiment, remembrance of our true essence, our infinite selves, our soul, our light. I am your host. My name is Aurea. I am a Reiki master, energy sound healer, and an ordained Magdalene priestess. And I am your host and guide on this journey. In this episode, we are going to talk about the energies of the moment. We just had a very powerful Ostara spring equinox. It was very potent, and I will go into the astrology of that day as well as what is going on with this full moon happening on Monday at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, 12 a.m. Pacific. It is happening earlier on Sunday in Western Europe. So it's very, very powerful energy that is happening. And we are also in the shadow phase of Mercury, about to go retrograde in about a week and change. We're in eclipse season, so there's a lot of energy. There's a lot to get into. So let's get into it. Whew, I don't even know where to begin. Well, let's begin with Ostara, because if you're like me, you've been feeling a highly charged, ramped up energy. See, this is the thing with energy. It affects all of us individually. I saw a funny reel that I'm going to share because it's relevant. It's talking about astrology, basically the equinox, Mars conjunct Saturn, the full moon, the eclipse, the devil's comet, whatnot, and how everything's like a shit show. It's like fuckery all around. Because Gordon Ramsay at the end is like, I don't want to do this. So you might be feeling like Gordon and being like, fuck this fuckery. I don't want to deal with this. Get me off this rock. Because the energies are intense. Absolutely. However, this is a very exciting time because it is a time for deep transformation. We're not pussyfooting around. Like, we have passed the point of just doing the surface level shit. We are at the point where the universe, God, Goddess, the divine, is telling us, hey, you need to go deep. There's no other way but you going deep. That is the way through this, you going deep. And some of us don't like to go deep. And some of us are still sleeping, and you're probably not listening to me if you're still sleeping, but that's okay. So there's a lot of energy with this Libra full moon. There's a lot of energy of endings and beginnings, the closing of cycles, the closing of chapters in your life, people, places, things, circumstances being basically yanked out of under you. Sometimes with this equinox, eclipse energies, we may feel that the rug is being pulled out from underneath us. However, trust and believe and have faith that nothing is happening against you. Nothing is happening to hurt you. Everything that is being pulled away, even though it may hurt, is actually here to support you in a greater evolution, in a greater embodiment, in you manifesting something that you didn't even think you could, into living a life that you really could not imagine for yourself. That's how amazing this growth and this transformation period is. Just this image just came into my mind. Think of the image of a butterfly. The butterfly begins its life as a caterpillar, goes into its chrysalis, dissolves. Literally, if you were to break open a chrysalis, there would be nothing but goo. And from that goo, and you may feel like goo, parts of me do, from that goo, it reconfigures itself from its previous form of a caterpillar into the form of a butterfly with its wings and its colors and the gentleness of its silhouette, the ability to fly, the ability to pollinate. This is what is happening to us right now. We are undergoing this process of heightened evolution, heightened awareness. Everything is coming at us so fast, which is why it is very, very important to ground. If you do not have a grounding practice, I encourage you to please get you one. Whether you go out for walks in nature, whether you sit your bare behind on the beach or on the ground, on the grass. Hopefully there's no toxics on that grass, but you know what? We work with what we got. Going to the ocean, being in the mountains, sunbathing, sun gazing, salt baths, meditating, sound baths, however it is that you ground your energy, eating nourishing foods, drinking plenty of water, all of this will help us during this transition because our physical bodies are transforming. Our physical DNA is being activated. You may actually have a lot of health issues that are coming up at this time. Why? Health issues point to unprocessed stuff within us. And you'll hear me use the word stuff because trauma seems to be triggering for a lot of people. And while as a healer, part of my job is to trigger you so that you can think and the trigger is actually pointing you into the place where you need to reflect upon. I don't always like to be so brash and abrasive in the way that I express myself because I want people to be able to digest and receive what is coming through me for their benefit, for their highest good. So sometimes it's not always good to be a bull in a china shop. Sometimes you have to be a little gentler. So that's why you will hear me use stuff as opposed to traumas, limiting beliefs, karmas, all of that. But that's literally what's coming up for us. All of our stuff, all of those unprocessed wounds, all of those hurts that we were not able to deal with at the time that they happened, they are coming up now because we are ready to heal them. I'm going to say that again. Because you are ready to heal them. I know some of us may not feel like we're ready to heal or we're ready to move on or we're ready to forgive, but you are. Because if you were not ready, you would not have that opportunity to heal, to expand, to evolve beyond what happened. So this full moon is happening at 5 degrees of Libra. And the moon is in the 9th house, which is the house of higher wisdom, the house of higher learning. Now, on this 3D level, we tend to think of higher learning as like education, which, if we actually are honest, is really indoctrination. But in its truest sense, education was the purpose of education was to allow us to embody our soul and our gifts more easily in this lifetime. So it's not so much a learning of book knowledge. It's a learning that is a soul level learning. And that's what came through for me as I was looking at the chart. It's also the house of ethics. So it's really examining our values and our belief systems, and are they truly in alignment with the light? I know sometimes we get caught up in thinking that we are right and the other person is wrong. However, we must understand that we are only looking at a circumstance from our own perspective, from our own biases, prejudices, from our own lens. Each one of us develops a lens because of our childhood, because of our upbringing, because of our lineage, because of society. It doesn't matter how we develop that lens, but we must become aware that we look at the world, we look outside from within through a lens. And that lens might be the right lens for you. It might not be the right lens for you. But it's not the right lens for every being that is expressing an existence on this plane. And this is where coming into yourself and actually developing our connection to the divine, developing our connection to our soul, developing our knowing that we are all one. When we develop that union, that divine union, we cultivate and nurture that. That's when we can look at one another as fellow sparks of the divine, as fellow lights and beacons of hope and joy, each expressing a unique aspect of Source, God, Goddess, the divine. And from that perspective, that is the soul learning. This is, and the moon is our inner world. So this is what we are going into. We are going into that those deeper levels of self-awareness that allow us to come into union with the earth, with the divine, and with all of life. So this is a very powerful, potent, transformative, deeply healing time. The sun is in the third house. So the third house has to do with communication. It has to do with the mind. And remember, the ninth house is about wisdom. Wisdom is integrating the knowledge. The mind can be quick. Knowledge can be quick. However, if we do not have the wisdom to fully integrate and utilize that knowledge in the highest light, then it can create chaos and darkness and suffering and disunity. Think of the wisdom that developed the atomic bomb. I should say the knowledge. The knowledge that developed the atomic bomb was brilliant. The use to which that knowledge was put. The bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the untold suffering and the consequences of that. That wasn't wisdom. Wisdom was nowhere to be found. Wisdom was trying to speak through some of the scientists on that project, but the powers that be, well, the powers that are phasing out of this reality, that's what we're going to call them. The powers that are being phased out, they weren't trying to hear it. So that's what we're coming to as a society. Are we going to allow ourselves to be dumbed down, to be blinded by the latest nonsense of the Kardashians or whatever, like the puppets behind the scenes are saying, look here, look here, look here? Or are we going to look within and access the true wisdom, the soul level wisdom that is needed at this time? That is the wisdom that is needed. There are stelliums. Well, the huge stellium is in the third house. There's a second house stellium. Stellium is a concentration of cosmic energies, i.e. the planets. Second house is our money, our work, our value, our resources. So all of this is coming up too. This is for the collective, remember. And I will go into the personal, what to look for. The fourth house also has a powerful Uranus and Jupiter in conjunction. That's all lineage, family, healing, the home, our sense of safety. And of course, our big D energy, Pluto, planet of death, rebirth, destruction, resurrection, power, money, sex, all the things in the first house. That's our self-identity. So we are truly, the foundations of our identity are being shaken to the core. And they are being shaken to the core so that our soul can be embodied and expressed through us. So this is why all of this stuff, you may feel a lot of chaotic energy. Now, sorry about that. If you're feeling a lot of chaotic energy, that is a sign from your body, your psyche, that you need to slow down and receive. And I know that you may think, oh, girl, I can't slow down right now. You crazy? I don't got time for that. If you don't slow down, the divine will slow you down. Period. Because the divine has slowed me down, like stopped. So slow down, even if it is 5 minutes, even if it is 2 minutes in the morning and in the evening, whatever it is, you need to come into stillness. You need to come into self-awareness and truly tune in to what your soul is telling you. And I don't like to use the word need, but I notice that I'm utilizing that word, and there's a reason why I'm utilizing that. Because we are at the time where it is crucial for us to go within. It is absolutely crucial for us to take the time and from there orient ourselves. Because for me, my personal experience during this Ostara and the upcoming full moon and the Mercury retrograde is I feel a significant speeding up of time. And there's so much for me to do and so little time for me to do it. I've literally been balancing, responsibilities that are very 3D with my responsibilities as a healer and as a medium, as an intuitive, developing a course, grounding that into the earth. And all of this, I'm a fiance, I'm a doggy mom, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend. All of those hats that we wear. I'm a teacher, I'm a guide. And for me, the only way that I have been able to tackle my ever-increasing list of things to do is to go within, focus on my practices. And what I find is that the more that I prioritize my practices, the more that I go into, okay, now I got to do this. Boom, let's get that done. Now we got to work on that video. Now we got to do this. And everything just seems to align. And I should say, everything realigns itself in a way that serves my highest good, in a way that serves the mission and the service and the purpose that I am here to express. How I'm here to express my infinite light. And I'm telling you, it works. And I feel less stressed, and I feel less, normally, flashback to, let's see, when I was, actually I could take it back 5-6 years, but let's take it back 20 years, when I was in my mid-20s, well, early 20s. So when I was in my 20s, I had decided that I was going to shut down my gifts. So I was definitely operating in the 3D, in the very much in the physical realm, very much in let me tackle my to-do list, very driven, very masculine in my energy. I don't recommend that, particularly if you are in a feminine embodiment. That's not a good thing. Balance, harmony, alignment, that's what we aim for. So during the times when there was a ton of energy, I was running around like a chicken without a head. I literally was exhausted, frazzled, snappy, bitchy, all the things. And nothing got done. It was like I was running around in circles and circles and circles and not getting anywhere. Cut to now. I align with my soul. I go within. I take the time to sit, receive the downloads, receive the information that I need to convey, allow myself to align, and then it's like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to record this episode. We're going to record that video. We're going to now wash our hair because we haven't washed it in a few days. So whatever it is, you will notice that when you develop a practice of taking the time to truly align with your soul and connect with the divine, everything flows better and you don't feel as frazzled by your never-ending to-do list, and you actually accomplish the tasks that are in alignment with your highest light, with the expression of your soul. And that is ultimately what we are here to do. Because look, the dresses that need to be tailored, that can wait. But normally, I would be focused on the little bullshit as opposed to the big stuff that actually supports my mission and what I am here to deliver. So, from personal experience, and it's not just me, my teachers also, whenever they feel the energy, they tune in. They always tune in to themselves, to their soul, to the divine first. And from there they move. From there they take aligned action. From there they receive the inspiration, the wisdom to move their lives forward. It works. This is not just some, hocus pocus, airy fairy, witchy stuff. When you tune into your soul, you take aligned action. And when you take aligned action, you become more efficient. And I hesitate to use the word efficient, but yes, you are efficient because you are serving your soul. You are allowing your soul to communicate and move through you. And when you align with your soul, everything starts to flow. Should put that on a t-shirt. When you align with your soul, everything starts to flow. That is the absolute truth. Oh my God, there's so much. But that's, you know what? That's what needed to be delivered. I can go into the rest of the astrological stuff that is happening. But the major thing, I'm just going to, because I know some of you may be wanting that. So there's a lot of conjunctions and a lot of sextiles. And sextiles trines are a very beneficial aspect in the sky. Sextiles are beneficial, but they're slightly less potent than trines. So there's a lot of trines. There's a lot of sextiles. There's one trine. So there's a lot of energy that is beneficial and conducive to our growth, to our expansion. There's a lot of beneficial energy. There is a conjunction between the Sun and Neptune. So Neptune is the god of the underworld. So it's all that is unseen, the subconscious, the psyche, our intuitive gifts. So we are receiving a lot of illumination and embodiment in our physical body of those gifts, which is very powerful. And Anostara, it's truly an ending, a closing, and a new beginning. So take this time, this Mercury retrograde that is coming up, this eclipse season, really allow yourself to be butt naked. Allow the walls, the facades, the masks to be stripped away. because you don't need it. Where we are heading as a collective, you don't need that extra bullshit. You don't need it. Be comfortable with being naked. Be comfortable with being yourself, your authentic expression. Obviously, let's use wisdom in how we communicate, because sometimes people can be a little brash, and that's never a good thing to be on the receiving end of. Always come back to your intention, come back to aligning with love, aligning with your soul, come back into union with the divine, come back into your heart, and allow your heart, which is your soul, your heart really is the anchor for the soul, to lead you. And from there, even if all you can do is a minute of just bringing your breath into your womb, into your heart, calling in your spirit guides, and asking for the blessings, the infinite, to align with the infinite light, with the highest expression of your soul. And then asking, what is it that best serves my soul mission? And whatever comes up, do that. And it's always going to be something good. It's always going to be something that lights you up and excites you. It's not going to be, oh, well, I need to, balance my checkbook. Actually, you may need to balance your checkbook. It might be that. But it usually will be something, when you align with your soul, it will always be what is in your highest good. So for me, I don't particularly like balancing my checkbook, but again, that was a me thing, so don't. And I'm always, if you know me, you know I'm very transparent. I will tell you, and I will call myself out on my bullshit. That right there was my bullshit. So laugh at yourself, be gentle, ground, eat nourishing foods. This is a very powerful time. I'm not planning on sleeping this weekend because during a full moon, I particularly cannot sleep. So I will probably be doing a lot of my practices, which have definitely increased the more that I expand into my gifts, and the more that I expand into my service, the more that I rely on my practices and on taking care of that, even as I align and create harmony and balance with all the other aspects of my life that are a part of me. It is important to me to be in healthy relationship, in healthy union, and to be in good communication with my beloved. It is important to me to speak to my brother and my family, even though that's something that definitely for me this period has been coming up as I really need to step up my game there. So we're stepping up the game there. So wherever it is that you are being asked to bring more of your energy, bring more of your light. Shine your light. This is what we are here to do. We are here to embody, integrate, and share our light. If that weren't the case, then we wouldn't be incarnated. And do you have any idea how many souls are they're dying? Well, no, sorry. They're ecstatic at the possibility of being here on Earth at this time. Now, I'm sure that if they were to speak to one of us, we'd be like, what the hell are you people thinking? Seriously, y'all want to come down here? No. But it's an exciting time, and they feel the excitement of the energy, even though some of us, or most of us, may not always be feeling the excitement of the energy. We may be feeling the, oh shit, of the energy. But know that oh shit is really excitement. It really is that It's your cells being activated and awakened and stirring, the energy coursing even more strongly through your physical, energetic, emotional, mental, spiritual bodies, because there is so much for us to expand into. There are so many more gifts to embody and to embrace, and our soul is excited to do this work. Our soul is lit up in the ethers, like, let's do this. Our human self, the mind, it's got to move, get out the way. Because when we embody our soul, we live with a sense of purpose and fulfillment and happiness and joy, even amidst the stuff that happens in life. So happy full moon. If you feel so inclined, since lineage is coming up during this time, check out my podcast episode, the content episode on lineage and the sound activation for lineage healing. There's a lot of wisdom that I channeled and dropped on that episode, on the 30-ish minute one. The sound activation is always the longer episode of my two that I release every Friday. Tune in to the sound activation for this full moon in Libra. It was very powerful. There was a lot of stuff that got cleared and moved, so do tune into that. As always, tune in on a platform that does not intersperse and cut into the episode with advertisements. So no YouTube, no, what's the other one? iHeartRadio. God, they annoy me with their ads. Like really, like right in the middle. It's just, I don't see the purpose of it, but I guess that's how they make money. So, and we're moving into another way of creating resources. So don't you worry about that. You can listen to my sound activation without ads on my website, osetkaalchemy.com/podcast. I will link it down below as well. Or feel free to listen on any platform that does not cut in with advertisements. Please, 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 please. I'm repeating this again and again. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's very important because sound healings are energetic activations. They are energy healing sessions. And we don't want squirrely nonsense cutting in. We just don't need. There's enough squirrely energy out there. We don't need to invite it into our sacred space. So, Ahava, have a blessed full moon. Enjoy this energy. As I said, slow down, go within, focus on alignment with your soul, and from there, take aligned action. This is the illumination that this full moon is giving us. This is the illumination and the wisdom and all of that. Don't get caught up by the increasing energy and the fact that it feels a little too much. Ground into your body, ground into your soul, connect to the infinite light of your soul. Everything will work out for your highest good. Ahava, blessings.